Hi, welcome everyone to another episode of Let's Talk Special Economic Zones. I'm your host, Ainsley Brown, and in today's episode, we are going to delve into zones and energy security. Now, energy security is a very topical issue these days, given what's happening in the world with oil prices and so forth, the war between Russia and Ukraine, amongst other matters, including climate change, etc. Now, zones, as I've repeatedly said, depending on what you call them, special economic zones, free ports, enterprise zones, free trade zones, all of them have a role to play in energy security of a nation. Now, what role that will be or could be will depend on the regime and the country itself and the design of specifically the design of their SEZ regime. But generally speaking, because of the general structure of zones, that is, zones are part of an economy, but yet separate. So you are within the geography of a country, but separate rules apply to you. And depending on the design of the regime, that separateness or those separate rules will vary. So some areas it's simply a matter of note customs duties, for example, will apply to you while you are in the zone, or to your operations while they're in the zone, or they maybe reduce corporate income tax, or even certain types of other rules pertaining to the environment or pertaining to labor and so forth may not necessarily apply to you, or there's an entire separate regime set up, separate rules set up for you. Um, Now, in terms of energy security, the general thing is because of that separateness, um, zones can be used to postpone um, energy or postpone um, the fuel, I should say, not energy itself, but the fuel within energy. So whether it's gasoline, whether it's oil itself or natural gas, so they become storage points for energy or for fuel that goes into electricity generation or for fuel for cars and industry in general. So while the fuel is in the zone, it is of course duty free, right? And it's postponed, to use some logistics type terms. It's postponed, it's paused until the next decision is taken. Now, if those things enter the domestic territory, the regular part of the country, then whatever duties that would have applied would then apply. If it's then exported back out to another country, then their duties apply, if applicable, when it gets there. And that's a service that can be offered. Now, how that can become a means for to secure energy or to improve your energy security is that you become a hub for these types of things to be stored. Singapore is a perfect example. Granted, Singapore, basically the entire island nation is functions in many ways as a zone. They then have become that they don't have any um, resources, so they don't extract natural gas or oil themselves, but they're a major hub in terms of storage, processing, and associated items or associated matters such as disputes. One of the big areas, for example, is with bunkering or bunker fuel. There's always disputes around um, the amounts of fuel, and they settle these matters a lot of times in Singapore. Largely because the oil or the bunker fuel was stored in Singapore, and so they've built out while the main focus was on storage. They built out the associated industries along that by becoming in a sense, an energy hub without having to be a producer of the fuel that is stored there. And basically they've used the concept of, well, while your fuel is here, which is a zone concept, while your fuel is here or your goods are here, they are duty free until the next decision is taken, of course. So if you like this episode and want to hear me do another type of episode, just leave me a message down below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you at another time.